Hello, hello, hello. The big moment is here to see who's going to win the first trophy of the English domestic campaign this season. It is the Carabao League Cup final. It's a trophy that has recently been dominated by Manchester City, but will they repeat it once again for the fourth time in a row? Or will we see Tottenham finally lift their first trophy at any competition, that's including the League Cup, FA Cup, Premier League, Champions League, Europa League, all those sort of competitions, because they have done none of that since 2008. And last time they won a trophy was also in this competition. Somewhat regarded as the easiest competition to win, because it's only the four top flight leagues in the country, so you don't have to play as many games. The Premier League games, Premier League teams start 1-3, play 1-4 quarter-final, semi-final matches, and it's one league ties, so they only have to play 4 games in total. The FA Cup competition is more involved because you get some of the non-league teams, probably just as challenging, you can say, but a little bit more still involved because there's also the home and away leads if you end up drawing on the matches instead of after the 90 minutes going straight to penalty kicks. Of course, during COVID times, they're pretty similar, I suppose you can say, this time around this year, and take a look at a few different interesting statistics, give the odds in the games, give my score prediction, and what I plugged into the football simulator, which I've been using for the domestic leagues competitions for the season as well too, to see what they have to say. So for Manchester City in the third round, they managed to defeat Bournemouth 2-1. So a little bit unconvincing. But job done nevertheless. And the fourth round against Burnley, very comfortable 3-0 winners. Quarter final, dispatching Arsenal 4-1 quite impressively. And most recently, a 2-0 victory against Manchester United in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, for Tottenham, in the third round, they played against Leighton Heights. It was a walkover match, winning it 3-0 technically. Yeah, so it was a game that didn't actually end up happening because Leighton Heights at the time had numerous players out because of COVID and because of fixturing congestion scheduling. They needed the matches to be played as soon as possible. Leighton Heights was unable to do so. The next round was due to start, so therefore they just had to surrender the opportunity to have any chance of progressing further in the competition. In the fourth round, they took on my club, Chelsea, and you know the results. They ended up winning it. It was a 1-1 draw at the time, and they ended up winning it 5-4 on penalty kicks. So what could have been but the FA Cup competition is ours, positive. In the quarterfinals, they defeated Stoke City 3-1, and most recently a semi-final victory against Brentford, winning it 2-0. So pretty easy fixtures in the midst there. Didn't even play one of them, and then just championship sides in the last couple recently. And then, of course, the big match against Chelsea is the only one there where they have managed to do. But look at Manchester City's ones. Bournemouth, championship sides, that's going to be within contention of heading back to the Premier League next season, being in the playoff positions at the moment. And then, then it got really tricky with Burnley, Arsenal, and then Manchester United recently. Yeah, what else do we have here? So this match, of course, be played at Wembley. I believe there will have fans as well too. A few thousand might attend this game, whether or not that makes a difference. So interesting to note, Jose Mourinho got sacked for Tottenham last week there because of the Super League talks, as well as the fact of having a pretty poor season with Tottenham. That was very strange timing. So Juan Saunders, new manager being Ryan Mason, I should say, for Tottenham at the moment there. He's only been involved in one match so far, but there was a victory against Southampton, including a last-minute winner. Manchester City, that is their ninth Football League Cup final, and they have managed to win 7 of them, including winning the past 3 competitions back-to-back there. So I don't think anyone's ever done that before in the history. So yeah, there were 2-1 winners against Aston Villa last season. Back in 2019, they defeated Chelsea 0-0 with winning 4-3 on a penalty kicks. Of course, there was that infamous goalkeeping howler of ours for Chelsea there. Well, just the fact that he refused to come off the pitch, he stayed on the pitch and ended up conceding on the penalty kicks to lose it for a club. So really spewing moments. Back in 2018, they defeated Arsenal 3-0. So will they be stopped? Can they be stopped? Well, they were in contention of a potential quadruple this season, as they were all 4 competitions: FA Cup, League Cup, Premier League, Champions League. But recently, they ended up losing in the FA semi-final against my club, Chelsea. So that is 1 trophy at least gone from their hands. They entered the semi-finals of the Champions League competition against PSG. So will they be distracted in that? Of course, manager Guardiola says that they will firmly pay attention to this tournament and all the other tournaments responsibly, because they want to win all the trophies that they can possibly. And talking about the players involved, Kevin De Bruyne came off with an ankle injury in the FA Cup defeat. Sergio Aguero has been a miss for them, has been missing the past 5 games, so he won't be fully up to it. He might get a bit of game time, but he's not going to get the whole shebang 90 minutes. Meanwhile, there's a big blow for Tottenham though. Harry Kane, their main striker, chances of playing are being monitored hour by hour, so they saw potential, but he was out with an injury himself. So if we look at the odds, Manchester City are heavy favourites here at $1.45, $4.50 for the draw. This is after the 90 minutes, and $6 if you want to go for Tottenham. And I want Tottenham to end this 13-year trophy drought. Sort of mixed emotions there, being a Chelsea supporter. Sort of don't want the other London clubs, London rivalry teams to do quite well, but at the same time also don't want Royal Witch Manchester City to continue dominating in all of these competitions. They already won it 3 times in a row, 4 times enough is getting a bit greedy, and the fact that they definitely going to win the Premier League, it's safe to say. This season they've got a big enough advantage. So 2 trophies and maybe a bit of hope in the Champions League is coming their way after just recently winning the treble as well too a couple of seasons ago. That's my prediction. I have gone for Manchester City to win. That see they be stopped at the moment. They have had some slip-ups of late, though, of course, against Chelsea and also losing against 10-men Leeds. But other than that, it's mainly been a very extremely successful season, able to adapt quite nicely with the fact that they have the largest roster of all the teams, having more players available when all these inevitable injuries do occur. And yeah, also the fact, winning mentality, all that jazz there. Compared to Tottenham, if we look at them, how they compare to each other in the Premier League this season, there's quite a big distinctive gap between the 2 clubs. Manchester City leading the way, top of the table with 77 points. Meanwhile, Tottenham in 7th spot with 53 points. So it's a 24-point gap. Yeah, pretty huge. So I'm going to go for Manchester City to win the League Cup final for the 4th season in a row with a 3-1 scoreline. The Football Science does back me. He's going to go for Manchester City to win it 2-0. It's gone for Fernando Torres' goal in the 64th minute and Ruben Diaz to clinch it in the 89th minute. So that's our thoughts and the preview of what is to come tomorrow. But being a final, anything can happen. So what do you think will happen? Will Tottenham end their 13-year trophy drought? There'll be some story. Or the fact that Manchester City to win a 4th League Cup title in a row. So either way, a pretty interesting story to develop. So make sure you comment below, share your thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up and subscribe. Cheers.